They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
I don't really even know what to say, but first I'm going to start off by saying condolences to all the family that this heinous crime happened to, for the people that got to go on the rest of their life knowing what took place in that school, and for the people that just suffer, period, even if it's not their family members. A lot of people feeling this particular incident that took place because it's something that's not only an eye-opener, it's just something that people didn't expect to happen, if simply for the fact that it was a transgender that did it. Now, before I even get into that, man, shout out to everybody that's been supporting the channel since day one. Shout out to all the people that may come to the channel. If you like what you hear, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all future videos. Understand that I will not be so one-directional, so I may not talk politics on the next video or religion. I may talk something entirely different. So if you choose to follow, you follow because you like what I say, or like what I say. And that's all I can really say. Now, this whole thing that took place, I really wasn't going to speak on it, even if it was newsworthy and a lot of people were so-called getting views because another horrendous crime had took place. But I chose to forego it for a while, just due to the fact that I felt like it wasn't within good nature to jump on here and get the bashing communities and attacking people and say why things happen, because in all actuality, nobody really knows what happened and why it happened. People make assumptions, and you have the manifesto, and but a lot of things, even in the in the past, people have read these manifestos and come to find out this person was working for some type of, what I mean? And we won't get into that because we're not going to go down a rabbit hole. The whole reason is to address these people that make these dumb comments on why it took place. And one individual in particular, I'm not going to say his name, but he was on Twitter and he had made a tweet saying that maybe they didn't pray enough. Now, I'm wondering why people would bring religion into this, because regardless, if it was about religion, you would know certain things are considered, I don't want to say the word, but it's like an abomination. So the person that did the shooting, if we were going according to the Bible, they would be considered an abomination. And I'm here to get on here and, judge people's character and judge why people do things and who they love and what part of groups they want to be a part of. I'm just saying that you cannot base this on the Bible, because like I said, if it was based on the Bible, the person that did this heinous crime would be considered an abomination, because they go against everything that's said not to go against. And the one thing in the Bible that points out this, I'm not gonna get into scripture. I'm gonna just leave that alone. But because in all this, I don't really care who you love and who you choose to sleep with. It's not my problem. I'm not here against your community. I'm here against stupidity. And for somebody to get on social media and say that people didn't pray enough and that's why they died, and then later retract their statement and just basically shut down their Twitter, not even shut it down, just erase what was said. People like you should be ostracized and thrown out of social media because the comment was just stupidity. Now, this just goes to show you that regardless of the situation, regardless whether male, female, whatever, everybody is capable of something along this line. All it takes is for the right motivation and that snap to hit that trigger and make you do something that's just sheer stupidity. Now, in this instant, was more than just sheer stupidity. This was somebody that was bent on hurting other people. If you see, there's a post of this same particular individual. I'll just say individual because I'm not going to be on here correcting pronouns, and that's not my job. I am not at work. I'm not whatever in a place to where I need to correct and make the proper pronouns. That's just not my job, and it's confusing a lot of times. And that I want to get into that too, which is crazy because, yeah. But so this particular person went and did these heinous crimes, and their one thing was saying that what did the person say, that they were being mistreated as far as people weren't really interacting with them. And this is just correct me if I'm wrong. If you're transgender, you go to an all Christian school, This is what you're up against. This is what the Bible teaches you to go against. This is what's not to be accepted in the Bible. If people really want to go with religion, you're going to a school that's Christian based. You're gonna be up against it, because people are gonna look at you, and what they just read in the Bible, they're seeing before them. They're gonna consider you an abomination, especially if they're going by the word. And that's not to say that who's wrong or right. It's just, this is things that we are taught. Like, now it seems like people are being taught to hate males, tend to hate people that are straight. You got people, they got whole groups that go after straight men. You know what I mean? It's just like, so, you know, what is your goal? Like, and I'm not gonna, like, I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole, and I want to go that route because I don't want to necessarily disrespect anybody's group in particular. I'm just saying that this person went to an all Christian school, and the Bible dictates and says that this is an abomination. And I'm just going to start by saying this, just so I don't go any further down the rabbit hole. We will all be held accountable for our deeds when we're done. Whether you believe in Yahweh, Allah, whatever you believe in, we will be held accountable. God will hold court, and you will be judged accordingly. So that's why I say, that's why I don't get on here and try to discredit transgenders or the LGBTQ community, because I know people that are really good friends of mine that are part of that community. And I don't judge their lifestyle because it's them. I don't necessarily have to particularly like everything that they do or take part in that community, but it's their community alone. And if you believe in the Bible, you understand that it's God that will judge, not us. It's not on us to judge. I mean, everybody is going to judge, but it's like, because that's just a part of our nature. There's things that we may not like. It's not necessarily racist prejudice. We may be prejudiced because that's just something that we're not accustomed to, or something that we refuse to become accustomed to, because either it's been indoctrinated in us because of religion, or, you know, just those who have been around us. Is the same as women that say they don't need men. It's been indoctrinated into their family, their cousins, their sisters. They have told them since birth that they don't need a man. So they grow up with this mind state. The government is the one that really got that started. But like I said, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole. We're talking about this particular individual. And I will say individual because that's how we'll address whatever. But this particular person took it upon themselves to do what they needed to do. And though it was wrong, it just goes to show you that people need to pay more attention to who's around them. The average person is not going to go out and do this, but you got those among us that will. And this is a prime example. And people are always looking for these radical people to be males, straight men. You had that one crazy chick out of NY that's, what's her name, Socorro or whatever, talking about man and rape and all this other stuff. Like, this is because of man that transgenders are who they are. Like, I told people a long time ago, this chick is a straight nutcase. And though I may be all over the place, you got to really just put it all together. Like, I'm one of those scatterbrain when I get to talking about things sometime. I try to formulate my thought, but I tend to go in all different directions because it's unscripted. I just want to get on here and say what I need to say. And it's just, the proof is in the pudding. You have a transgender female, male, whatever, that went to an all Christian school. She was going to face ridicule. Her parents should be, a part of this. They should be a part of the blame. They created this monster. And for them to assume that by sending her to a Christian school, things would change. I mean, I don't know if they see the same thing that she's seen or he's seen or whatever. Like I said, I'm not here to correct pronouns because I really don't know whatever. But the parents seen it. And you knew by sending her or him to a Christian school that it was going to be issues. People were going to ridicule her. I don't know at what level of her mental state that they knew was deteriorating, or how frustrated she was or he was. But there's signs. And it just goes to show you, parents need to pay attention to everything that happens. When my son gets frustrated, he goes to school, I pay attention. And if I'm not really on it because I'm a male, and a lot of times we be like, get over it, like that type of attitude, then it's his mom. His mom will pay attention. Somebody is always watching because they know how easy it is to be one of these incorrigible kids and go down a rabbit hole. Now, I've talked about all types of stuff during this video, and some of it has been going in all types of different directions, but at the end of the day, it just goes to show you that regardless of religion, race, gender, everybody, not everybody, but you have these nutcases out here that are capable of horrendous crimes. And this will not be the first or the last. You have these people that are gonna, I just seen another post where there's multiple people talking about that if there was no real acceptance that things would take place. Now, you also have to blame this on this party, like the liberal party. I'm just going to get at you real quick because you push this agenda and you act as if you're not. You cater to pedophiles, but you prosecute criminals, which pedophiles are considered criminals, right? But you'll put these people behind bars for things as small as marijuana, and maybe they got busted with some type of drug, but it was enough just for them to use and they weren't selling. And you'll put them in jail for the rest of their life, but you will let these pedophiles walk the street as if they are God's gifts to whatever. You cater in Hollywood to rape and everything. Even some of you try to desensitize us to things that should not be desensitized to. Rape is wrong. Child molestation is wrong. Pedophilia is wrong, but you still try to desensitize. Hollywood is over sexualized. Everything is sexual in the United States. It's just what it is. And anybody that pushes against it is seen as bad. You hate Trump, but you love Biden. The ear neck sniffer, like you and it's not to say nothing like you had the comment by Trump about the poo nanny, and you know what I mean? And then but you got a dude over here that's in office right now sniffing on kids, and you see it's on camera. Like, you had a dude that said that you're not black if you don't vote for him, and he's not black. But yet if a Republican said that, it wouldn't be politically correct, and people would attack it. Even for people to downplay Trump and he did this and he did that, but the blacks gave him the most accolades. So it's like, what happened all of a sudden? And I get it. Some people are, have friends that may be of a certain race and they don't want to be seen as somebody going against the status quo, but you got to call a spade a spade. You got rid of this dude and you put a jackass in the White Office. White House. You see what I'm saying? This is the type of shit that's programming us, because that statement would have never came out. But, I digress. Now, this just goes to show you that paying attention is everything. And don't be so quick to jump on here and downplay one president and you got another dude that's a lunatic that's in office. Sleepy Joe and his little sidekick, Kamala, I'm not Black Harris. I've already spoke on the video exactly where she went with her whole, with the evidence and not want to prosecute the cops for planting evidence and not want to prosecute the chick that was in the lab doing all kinds of stuff with evidence that got multiple cases overturned because she was tampering with evidence in order to prove the cops' case. It's a lot of stuff that goes. I could go down the rabbit hole, but I'm trying not to. I'm constantly pulling myself from going too deep. But at the end of the day, you are who you are. You choose who you choose. No shot at the LGBTQ community because, like I said, I have a lot of friends, but a spade is a spade. The time of crying, it should be over. A lot of gays back in the days, they fought for what they fought for. They were tough. So they're not really the ones doing it. Like right now, the whole transgender community, like you guys really don't have to fight for nothing. You won. You took BLM, like literally had them and then piggyback off that. I was at the protest. You know what I mean? Even though me and BLM are not eye to eye, like it's at the protest, I seen it, the piggyback. You talking about your community, but it had nothing to do with you. It had to do with blacks getting killed, but then you paraded black homosexuals in front of the camera to, oh, look, like, nah. You piggybacked off of it. But you know what you did, and you got a lot of laws passed, and that's good for you because some of you deserve it. But the ones that's pushing this agenda now, I'm going to say this before I end it, because my audio's all over the place. My camera's going to cut off. But you got all these people pushing these weird agendas. Like, you want to take guns, but you want to put pamphlets in our school of homosexuality and how to go about doing it. And you don't have to be a certain gender. For one thing, that's fly for the people that actually live that life. But to give it to some kid that's incorrigible, that has not yet experienced life and have given you no indication that they lean that way, you got pamphlets on how to perform sexual acts. Like, these are books that they put in a library to desensitize. No, transgender people right now, a lot of you, now I won't say all of you, but a lot of you are not only trying to convert, but you're also trying to subjugate, because you want to be just like you. You figure if you flip everybody, then there should be no issue. And that's just plain and simple fact. And that's just speaking to a few of you. Like, if you didn't have to, it's like you're basically like the Nazis. Make everybody white, you don't have to deal with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Subjugate everything else, everything perfect. Make everything gay, perfect. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to deal with the ridicule. But at the end of the day, you're not really being persecuted anymore. You have your own speaking up in Congress about the agenda. You're not suffering anymore, but yet you're still pushing an agenda. There's no reason why a drag queen should be teaching my kid anything. It's fine. Like I can go into my family and you know, there you go down the hallway in my aunt's house and half the one that are considered beautiful women are all drag queens. You know what I'm saying? But my family would never trip like that. We had friends growing up that were on this lifestyle, never tripped off of it, but they fought. And they weren't like no pushovers. They handled their business. They were tough. This whole transgender thing, like it confuses me, because if a person doesn't necessarily agree with what you do, it's an issue, like a real issue. I mean, plain example, you had this chick that went up in the school and did all this stuff, and just because she wasn't accepted in a Christian school. Well, anyways, man, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I've went too far down the rabbit hole. I've been in all different directions, but I hope that you can, out of this jumble mess that I've put on this video, that somehow you can grasp certain things from it and understand that this video is unscripted. So I shoot it from the hip. It's long and it's shit that needs to be said. With that being said, I'm your boy Zod, and hopefully I haven't turned you off to the channel, but I can only call it how I call it, you know? And I wasn't no Biden fan. I was a Trump fan. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe that discredits me from being whatever. But you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm your boy Zod. And I'm out.
Kneel before Zod!